What's up, guys? JDB Sports here for your Super Bowl Sunday look ahead. I guess you could say the game's tomorrow. So, um, any thoughts any thoughts about the game? Put them down in the comments below. We'll talk to you. You want to talk, and we'll talk to you as well about what we think what's going to happen in the game, as well as what's going on around the league, and as far as some NBA trade crazy news going on too. Let Peyton, if you want to jump right into that.
Yeah,
Get it
let's
on the
jump right into it. Again, what a break in the action, I would say, from going from one NFL week to kind of a bye week with the Pro Bowl. You get the trade deadline news from the NBA, and sports is heating up as a whole. Super stoked.
That Pro Bowl
I'm a
sucked.
Lakers fan. Yeah, the Pro Bowl was snooze, man. I had it on for like a total of 5 minutes and had to turn it off.
I didn't even watch it, to be honest with you. I saw little clips of it, and I'm just like, they're really sitting around playing flag football. What happened at the 2008 games where, Sean Taylor's blowing up Brian Mormon on the fake punt? So,
Right.
where's the good games at? Don't nobody want to watch flag football, but I guess I understand on them talking about they want to keep their players, safe and stuff. And now Roger Goodell sitting here talking about imposing a flag football league. He's strongly considering it. Man, that would be a straight undoing right there with him. Don't nobody want no flag football league. Nobody's gonna want to watch that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's not, it doesn't have that thrill that football would have. And I mean, I think it would be better if the Pro Bowl, kind of moved to more skills challenges only and selected players, kind of like how NFL first team, second team, that kind of thing. I think, Pro Bowlers should be selected that way.
yeah, for sure, I agree 100%. Hopping in the NBA news. Unless everybody's been living under a rock, I'm sure you heard some things about some crazy trades going on. But Peyton, you want to take that? You want to take that away and explain to them if just in case they haven't heard.
Yeah, I will start with the biggest one. Luka Doncic to the Lakers. Perennial all-star, top 3 player in the league. And this one comes as a shocker. Probably the biggest trade in NBA history. It's an all-star for all-star swap. Couple role players involved in a first-round pick going to the Mavericks as they swap Anthony Davis for Luka Doncic. But I honestly just don't know what the Mavericks were thinking on this one. Their GM is currently getting death threats, had to hire a 24/7 security guard to protect him because of the decision that was made, and they're rioting outside the stadium, and all the protests, all the interviews, every little piece of news that has come out just points to the inability and overall idiotic ways of Mavericks GM Nico Harrison. Just, he had it coming, making a decision like this. And again, I don't condone any of those things. Don't get me wrong. Like, death threats, no matter what you do, I mean, it's pretty bad. But
Dude must
you
have been
can't.
drunk at the wheel.
Yeah, you can't trade your best player after going to the finals and losing, not because of your best player. You're losing because everything around him. And you just don't blow it up that quickly. And the Lakers kind of lucked out getting Luka for cheap. So,
Well, you being a Lakers fan, you excited about this, or what have you about your future and all that? I know a couple other Lakers fans too, but explain your thoughts on that one.
yeah. So I think Luka now signs a long-term deal with the Lakers. He is 25, and the All-Star we did trade for him, Anthony Davis, 31 and a little bit more injury prone. Definitely more of long-term stability, and I think the Lakers honestly will do better right now with Luka in the lineup. Um, Someone who arises in the playoffs, someone who's going to work well with LeBron, um, and someone who's going to lead the team for the next decade, it feels like. So really enjoy the move and everything. And with the Lakers winning, I believe it's 10 of their last 12 games, if not now 11 of their last 13, and then adding an all NBA player to the mix, it's huge.
Yeah, seems pretty hot for that team. So thanks for liking it live, Latia. Appreciate that. Love the support, even though you're not a big sports fan, but thank you for coming in and showing us some love here. But any other NBA trades that we should know about here? I mean, I know you said Luca was the main one, and that GM is that dude's pulling some Jerry Jones type moves right there, trading their best players away. But I will say it's like if the Eagles end up going to lose the Super Bowl this year, it's like them trading Saquon Barkley away, even though if they, even though he wouldn't be the problem with the team, it would be whatever lets them down, whether it's defense, whether it's coaching schemes. I believe that you can't just let your best player go. I mean, even for like, what was it for, like a bag of peanuts and a can of Red Bull, or what was it? What was the trade details?
I mean, it wasn't like it was pretty bad because it was 1 first-round pick in the future, Anthony Davis, which is about like a top 15-ish player in the NBA. I would say closer to top 10. And then a couple role players for Luka, who's a top 3 player in the NBA. And, a bunch of role players that are solid. I call the role players a wash, so it's basically Luka for AD in a first. And in comparison to like NFL, it's like if Josh Allen got traded for who's like a
mid,
maybe like an injury prone top 10ish player, like a Kyler Murray, like a Dak Prescott.
You put Dak Prescott in the top 10, that's crazy. But all right,
around that range.
Okay.
Maybe, but like it's hard to compare. It's hard to compare sport. And then Lakers had another trade fall through tonight, which I haven't seen in a long time because a player didn't pass their physical.
That's not rare in the NFL. That happens. So, just the NBA not up to snuff on that. You said it's rare, so that's tough. How do you? Oh, you should be in game shape unless the player was injured, right? Not playing all year.
Yeah, and I mean he's played recently. But the Hornets didn't disclose all of what was going on with him and his injuries and kind of what he was playing through. So once we discovered that, we cancel out the trade.
Okay, for sure. At least saving ourselves some heartache, God forbid, down the road. But so any other NBA news you got to share with us?
Just one more piece. The other big trade, it was actually a 5-team deal. Beers, Andrew Wiggins to the Heat. Kyle Anderson went to the Heat. Dennis Schroeder to the Pistons. And a couple first rounds swapping all over the place. Really like the deal, kind of for all sides here. Warriors are trying to win one with Steph at this point in his career. Anyway, just because tail end of Steph Curry's career, he's getting older, 35, 36, and it kind of feels like his last hurrah would be one of the next 2 years. So definitely go all in. You spend $60.5 million a year, an extension for Jimmy Butler, one of the league's top 20 players, I would say. And honestly, just forming a tandem that I don't believe would get very far in the playoffs personally, but time will tell.
Okay. Well, another kind of piece, I guess a more speculation type of piece that I wanted to bring to the attention of the sports stream is Philadelphia 76ers fans and Philadelphia fans alike are really pushing and urging Josh Harris to sell the team. I guess he's more invested in the Commanders at this point, depending on their play on the field. I think we talked about it before; it wasn't really that great, but yeah, pressure's mounting from Philadelphia fans and constituents alike for him to sell that team. Kind of like pulling Dan Snyder type move: sell the team, sell the team. We'll see if he folds and sells the team. I mean, he's got a lot on the horizon for the Commanders to look at as far as a new stadium to be built, deciding where it's going to be. And literally just all around, a shit show of a franchise to try to rebuild. I hate to say it. I mean, we were great in year one, but at the same time, we don't want this to be a fluke. We wanted to keep going. But literally, he inherited the shit show. It was literally, stadium pipes bursting, fan morale was at an all-time low, stadium concessions were really high, ticket prices were astronomical. He was literally, I think Dan Snyder actually sued a fan for wanting to back out of the contract out of a 2008 season where that recession came in real hard. He sued him for $66,000 and won. That's just being real petty, even though there was thousands of people on a wait list and waiting for years as far as getting tickets. Josh Harris will right the ship in Washington for sure. I mean, he already has. He's already shown pretty good glimpses. I watched his little his media take as far as after the season and what he was speaking about going forward as far as plans to relocate and build a new stadium and all that. But as far as that goes, he's got a lot on his plate right now. He's partially owning the Commanders, managing partner. I don't know how much of the ownership stake he is in the 76ers, but something's going to crack here. He's just one person. Can he really take care of it all? I know Magic Johnson's helping out with the Commanders, but the 76ers, I don't know if it's the same deal that's in place. I don't want to speak on that too much, but I just want to say that, those teams are... Something's bound to crack, and I just hope it's not our franchise that hasn't won anything in 30-something years. So, poor 76ers. Maybe he should sell the team. Your thoughts on that piece of statement right there?
I don't think they should sell the team. I mean, I don't believe them to be a dysfunctional franchise as of late, at least. They had a horrid stretch in the late 2000s to kind of early 2010s range. I think they've just gotten real unlucky with injuries as of late to all their top players. 3 of their top 3 picks have had concerning injury history. Jahlil Okafor, Ben Simmons, and Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid's almost missed half his career games. Ben Simmons has missed more than half his career games due to injury, and same as Jahlil Okafor. Amazing prospects out of high school and college in all respects, and honestly, I would pick them as well. It's not like they're making egregious free agent signings, coaching signings,
They're doing everything right. They're doing everything right. Basically, It's just they're getting bit in the ass by the injury bug, really. So, you don't see any coaching inconsistencies, things like that, things that could be done better with that team.
I think yes, but I think you can make those critiques about almost any team, and
any team that's losing at least. Sure,
yeah. And I mean, the Sixers have been to the playoffs a really good bit over the last 5 years. I believe they've made it every single year within the last 5 years. So, it's not do or die. I mean, this is a really bad season for them. And honestly, the move they made to get Paul George, an aging star in the offseason for quite expensive money, didn't make too much sense to me at the time, and it doesn't make sense now watching the team collapse.
I can see how Philadelphia fans in general are basically just, hitting that panic button saying, oh, well, you went and bought a team, you bought a division rival, the Eagles, you're basically putting your all into them, you're not putting anything into us. Well, from what you're explaining there, it's basically just more or less an injury bug. It's not really too much to criticize. They've been in the playoffs recently, and Philly don't hit the panic button, and if Josh Harris can do it, by all means. I mean, I know he hires, they have general managers and things like that, people that handle, basketball day-to-day operations, same thing with football. So, he's going to trust his guys to get to it and really make the right decisions there. And I don't know. I hope nothing but success for the 76ers going forward. Even though they are a Philadelphia team, but I'm not gonna hate on them. Let's get off that Philadelphia team and get on to the other one. The one that's vying for a championship at the moment. Do you think, all right, so we talked about this already partially on the last stream. Do you think that the Eagles run away with this one, or do you think that Patrick Mahomes quiets down that Philadelphia secondary, basically exposing their number one defense? What do you think happens?
I've actually changed my mind on this game a little bit since we last talked. I know the sentiment last time was we both thought the Eagles were gonna win, and honestly, I don't think I'm changing who I'm rooting for
I
in
pick
the
Chiefs.
Eagles over the Chiefs, but I just looking over, numbers on numbers and finding out like Patrick Mahomes is undefeated in domes and he's undefeated in one-score games this year. And when he needs to turn the volume up, he turns it up loud.
Yeah, but we're at 0-0 right now, technically. I mean, yeah, the playoffs.
For sure.
Once you hit the playoffs, it's 0-0. It doesn't matter if he's undefeated in domes. I mean, it's easy to say. It's a lot easier to play in domes for anybody. I mean, Philadelphia's used to playing outdoors. You know, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, they had a big snow game against the Rams in the playoffs this year, which they almost lost. But weather's really much only a factor in my mind for kickers, and that's it. Kickers and maybe throwing the football sometimes, but you can still ground and pound on the ground, and I mean, as far as getting traction with your cleats and being offensive defensive lines, yeah, it's a little bit easier indoors, but I don't know. I feel like that rhetoric can go out the window as far as being undefeated in domes and turning things up when need be and having really good fourth quarter drives and things like that coming out of Patrick Mahomes. Yeah,
Really?
what do you mean really? I'm just saying, like,
You say, but listen. So you're saying if the game was outside in the snow, whole 9 yards, you don't think the Eagles have an advantage?
oh no, they do. No, they do.
Okay. So take that though and put it in the dome where the advantage is negated, right? So that advantage I'm negating more than anything.
Yeah, neutrality.
But to throw out the track record that Patrick Mahomes is just not gonna come back, or that it's kind of 0-0 there. If he has a knack for creating these close games, and not only creating these close games, but winning the byproduct of it, I don't think that should be tossed aside at all.
Okay.
Because a habit's a habit, and every game where the Chiefs haven't been in a 2-score game, they've won. That's skill at that point, and that's something that I give them the advantage in, because they're better in close games than any team in the league.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that one. My bad. All right.
No, you're good. No, we're
Okay,
just
okay.
talking.
All right, for sure. Yeah. So
If you disagree, you disagree.
I mean, I just think it's going to be a completely different animal. Super Bowl, a lot of pressure to 3P. Philadelphia's got a lot of pressure on their shoulders to perform, especially after signing Saquon Barkley and having the best roster on paper. Basically, it's a weird, great matchup for both teams. Really, I mean, Patrick Mahomes can show that he's the most dominant. Probably the GOAT. If they win the Super Bowl and he gets MVP, he's in GOAT discussions because Brady never did it. I mean, Brady also played a different era where the league was a little bit harder. Quarterbacks were getting popped instead of being able to flop out of bounds or get phantom roughing the passer calls, or that thing that he likes to do where he runs up the sideline and kind of baits that he's going out of bounds and then just stays in bounds and keeps running just to try to get the defenders off him just so he doesn't get popped and they don't get flagged. It's Bill Belichick put it the best way on the Manning cast was it's an offensive league. There's no help for defenses, so the league that can go the other way. That can go the other way too. Like as far as Jalen Hurts' running ability, I mean he had 2 weeks, about 2-ish weeks to get ready for this game. I feel like he's going to be 100% out there scrambling. I mean when he was playing Washington in the NFC Championship game, he looked good. I was watching him scramble, and I was just like, "What's up with this dude? Wasn't he supposed to be hurt, sprained MCL or whatever the hell it was, something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't he supposed to be hurt? So why the hell is he out here freaking running around? They're also putting him on quarterback design runs too, which is pretty ballsy, especially if he's hurt. Which I think that was just maybe a smoke and mirrors. Maybe he just had some tightness. Maybe it was like some soreness or whatever. But then they're trying to amp it up so they can get the advantage. Oh, we'll overlook. We'll be looking to play Kenny Pickett and not Jalen Hurts. So we'll overlook everything and all that. So I guess their little stunt worked, and they're in the Super Bowl for a reason. They kicked the living hell out of us, 55-23, something like that. All right. Well,
I mean, I think pedigree matters to a degree, and and I go along with the take like it's a super unique Super Bowl, and there's
Yeah.
pressure on both sides. But my eyes have told me that Patrick doesn't get nervous. Above all, I don't think Jalen will either. I don't think pressure is too big, or it doesn't have too big of a chokehold over this game. I don't believe. I think it's two of the most prepared teams, probably the two most prepared teams in the league going at it. And it's just who will execute better, and
I see.
that's kind of what made me lean towards Kansas City a little more. I think they're better coached.
I'm leaning towards Kansas City as far as you were saying pedigree, and I'm saying discipline too. Um, I feel like Philadelphia. I'm not gonna say they haven't been here before because they have. A few years back, Jalen Hurts. They lost the Super Bowl to the Chiefs. Pretty good game up until the end or whatever when they had that PI in the end zone, I believe. And that was that. And then they scored. They didn't come. Well, Eagles couldn't finish. But as far as the whole thing goes, could we see another shootout again like that? Maybe. I don't see Philadelphia running away with it. Like everybody thinks Saquon Barkley is going to destroy that defense. No, I think Spags got a good idea what he wants to do, and I feel like his players will execute. I feel like, Chris Jones is definitely going to get some. I feel like honestly, I think 2 tackles for a loss for Chris Jones. I can see him hitting that up. And I know Brandon Graham's actually eligible to play, or he's playing. I think he was cleared or whatever. So as far as that goes, that's a major boost for Philadelphia, and what might be his final game of the year, final game of his career in Philly. Didn't he say he was retiring? I believe retiring.
I mean,
or
I
moving
could
on?
see it. He's aging. He was injured all year. He's finally coming back, and has a little bit of pass rusher juice in that room for sure.
Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, look, I'm gonna say this one thing. I was kind of banking on for the Washington Eagle game, N'Kobe Dean being out, being a factor, but Burks really stepped up and made plays. I feel like Vic Fangio has really got the defense fine tuned, especially with the rookies on the back end. He really trusts his rookies, Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell, and I believe they're both those teams are gonna they're both gonna be ready to play for sure.
Yeah.
Like you said, Kansas City is more of like that pedigree, more of that, I'm ready for this. I've been here before attitude. And yeah, Philly too, but you know, I don't know. I see Kansas City coming out on top, and I think I said this last time. I think I said it like 30-24 Kansas City in the last one. I got to go over the last stream and remind myself, but I think it was that. I didn't pick Philadelphia to win.
I think we both chose Philly to win, if I'm not mistaken.
We got to look over that. I don't know if I don't remember what Rob picked either. It was he either picked Philly for Saquon or he picked the Chiefs. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think I picked Philly by like 3-ish, and I think you said Philly by like 10.
Damn, that don't sound right. I gotta look at it.
I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I think I'm with you on Chris Jones kind of destroying the game. I think the Eagles' interior line is a lot weaker than it's been in years past, and especially during this playoff run, you see a bunch of holes. You saw how the Rams got after Jalen Hurts in that snow game, of course, but
even Luvu,
9 sacks.
Yeah, even Luvu got his hits on Hurts too, and the Eagles are susceptible to false starts and holding calls too. We're not gonna dismiss that either. I'm not gonna say Lane Johnson's gonna be the one freaking false starting every 5 seconds or Jordan Mailata, but like I said, with the way freaking Frankie Louvu came bearing down on Hurts and on that 4th and 5 where they missed the holding call on Barkley, I feel like that may happen again. I'm not saying the 4th down or whatever, but I'm saying holding calls in critical points where you need it, where you need a 3rd down conversion. And I feel like they will be called. I feel like the refs are going to be extra keen in this game, regardless. I don't feel like they're going to swing Kansas City's way like everybody else is thinking, but I think they're going to be more apprised to be on their toes, because don't nobody want to have to deal with an off season of, oh, this call was blown, no hold here, no hold there, no false start. Don't nobody want to deal with that. Don't nobody want to hear that. They're going to be on their toes. I feel like their head officiating crew is going to be, he's going to have his team, well, he's going to have his referees ready to go, but I saw a quote out there that said that Patrick Mahomes, the fact that the conspiracy theories are flying around with 138 officials or whatever on multiple different crews, how are you going to have every single official and officiating crew member on the Mahomes bandwagon? There's no way that that's possible. Like, yeah, there's certain crews that favor certain teams, but I mean, at least that's how it looks. I don't know if that's exactly true. Just from looking at it from the average fan, it looks like some teams get penalized more than not. But I was looking at something back a few weeks ago, actually before the playoffs started, and Kansas City is actually not the most favored team as far as penalties go. I don't remember exactly which team it was, but Kansas City they were pretty fair as far as those calls go. Everybody just sees the more blatant calls going Kansas City's way because everybody hates the Chiefs and they don't want them to succeed.
Yeah. Yeah, and I hold that same sentiment as you. I don't like the whole ref narrative giving people excuse. The game's called how the game's called. Unfortunately, you have to deal with it, and a lot of the times a game comes down to a call when there's so many other aspects of the game you could have done better at.
Oh yeah.
Lamar did not play a good first half of football against Josh Allen and the Bills. Therefore, he lost.
Yeah, and
It's that simple. It's not calls. It's not drops. It's not. Cut it. Be simple. It was because drops too. That's an added effect.
Yeah, well, Mark Andrews didn't help, but I'm just gonna say he took the blame for that when he basically said, I threw the interception, I did this, I did that. It's not all on Mark Andrews. That's my boy. Blah 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 blah. We'll get back and get to it next year. Well, we'll see what happens. Mark Andrews definitely for sure. He's bordering the washed material as far as that goes. He's slow. He's slowing down a lot more. And his drops too. That dude needs to be critical.
Yeah, just drops at the wrong time. That one fumble, and then of course that drop on the last play. But there's just so many other aspects of the game, and that's what I hate about NFL narrative sometimes. Is a lot of the media tries to push, the refs made the wrong call here and holding them victim and everything like that. I mean, they're human too, A, and B, the more you seek out problems, the more you find them. If you're finding less problems with the refs and bad calls and you're really just trying to watch the game, I feel like that lens of trying to find out,
the rose-colored glasses.
Exactly. He's committing a pass interference. Like,
look, I hate when calls don't go like, especially being a football fan of the Commanders and stuff like that. When calls don't go our way, yeah, I hate to see it, but at the same time, everybody's human. You can't get on them. I mean, I know they get paid for it. I don't know if it's part-time, full-time, whatever time they do, but come on. You can't. This game's very fast-paced. It's not like you're sitting here freaking watching baseball, where it's just like
exactly
a pitch, a swing, maybe a jog. That's it. Like, nothing crazy.
Yeah. And do you really want them to review everything? Sit down and review everything? No.
It's going to make the game longer and more annoying. You're going to deal with a lot more commercial breaks. People are going to get turned off. People are going to stop watching. It's like with this. It's like with the TikTok, the algorithms and stuff online. We'll talk about that one real quick. Only for the fact that, like, when you get into a vertical format, like if you're watching shorts or live streams, you guys scroll. You don't watch. You just keep scrolling. Even if it's good content, you'll just keep scrolling just because you don't like certain things you see or whatever. Yeah.
Calling you guys out. Come on, do better, TikTok. Do better.
And YouTube, everybody's got. I'm not gonna.
Whole industry.
I'm not gonna say that I don't do it sometimes too. Like some videos are real stupid, but I'm just gonna say it right now. Decent content out there. Like a lot of these small time streamers put out a lot better content than the big guys.
Oh. He's saying, I'm a big fish in a little pond. Come get me out.
We're putting a lot of work to try to get ourselves known. A lot of these people that, they're all known, they just go live and they have thousands of viewers right away. And it's just like, well, look, I don't really have to put any much effort. I can just get on and play a video game. I can get on and talk. I can get on and do stuff. I can get on and barely know what I'm talking about, but I'm still going to have all my viewers and all my supporters. as opposed to a channel like us where we're still small. We still got to deal with copyright strikes and things like that, phantom copyright strikes. And I think our other channel got a hate speech notification because we are talking about donuts or some crap like that on freaking Fortnite. But anyways, not to get too off topic on this one. So let's get back to this Eagles and Chiefs game. What are your biggest stat predictions for the game if you had to pick anything? Anything crazy that jumps out at you? Not some weak behind, 235 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. Throw something crazy at me that you think that'll happen.
Let me see here. Craziest thing that I think's gonna happen?
I can tell you one real quick while you're waiting, while you're looking for one.
Go right ahead, please.
All right. Saquon Barkley fumbles and they recover for a touchdown. I think Chris Jones takes that back. I feel like Barkley is pretty good at holding the ball, but he everybody's prone to a fumble at some point. And I feel like Barkley fumbles it up, and I think I feel like that's one of the Chiefs' scores would be a defensive score. It might not be like a 60-yard fumble return for a touchdown. It might be like they just start out on their own 25, and maybe Jalen botches the snap, or Barkley just muffs the handoff or whatever and puts it on the turf, and they just scoop it and score. I feel like it's not gonna be something ridiculously crazy like a 99-yard return or anything like that. But no, I think
backed up in their own territory.
Yeah. Just starting out on the drive, maybe feeling themselves a little bit, and the handoff just doesn't go as planned. Or I'm gonna put it on Saquon. I'm just gonna say he just gets the ball peanut punched out by somebody. Don't know exactly who does it, but I can see it happening. I hate to bet against the man because that man's probably one of the most likable people on that team.
100%. I love Saquon.
His kids are adorable too. Don't get me wrong, but anyways, I feel like he puts it on the ground, and then they just look at him like, "What the hell are you doing? you don't do this. You do this in the biggest game of the year." All right, what you got?
I'm going to go a little different direction, and this is kind of something I was looking at just now, and I'm like, that kind of makes sense.
All right.
I'm going to go Patrick Mahomes is the leading rusher for KC.
I mean, they kind of, like, I came up with this take over the week, of course. I was looking back at their last game, and they kind of have like a running back by committee with Pacheco and Kareem Hunt. I like to kick people, but I feel like Kareem Hunt does some more kicking, and I can see Patrick Mahomes being a leading rusher. It just depends. Is it more scrambled, or is it more quarterback design runs? Are they going to try to do some zone reads, or what are they going to do? What do you think they're going to do? Or do you think Philly's just going to get a lot of pressure and it's going to do a lot of scrambling?
I think it's going to be a lot of scrambling when he needs to scramble. Honestly, the Bills didn't even pressure Mahomes that much, and he had 11 carries for 43 yards. And Kareem Hunt, I don't think he's the most efficient runner. He's a great power back near the end zone.
I was going to say
and Isaiah Pacheco coming off injury as well. He had 5 carries for 12 yards, super inefficient. So I don't know how much he's going to see the ball.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, the leading rusher makes a lot of sense, unless you do like gadget plays or whatever where they have freaking end arounds. But we'll see. Imagine Travis Kelce taking an end around. I don't see that happening. That man is a little slow, a little old too. So
I could see Kelce being held under 50 yards. Another bold prediction.
All right, we looking at a proposal or whatever, or how's this? How's this cringe gonna happen?
Odds are plus 800. It's not happening.
Are you serious? There's odds on it. Are you kidding?
Dude, there's odds on everything, bro. What do you think the Gatorade flavor is going to be that they pour on Andy Reid's or Nick Sirianni's head?
Somebody was just saying. I heard somebody saying yellow, but I know they did one year where Manning. It was Manning in Seattle. Peyton Manning and the Broncos in Seattle in the Super Bowl at MetLife. How many times a year Manning yelled Omaha was a bet, and when the Super Bowl aired, you didn't hear it at all. You didn't hear him yell. I guess it was muted or whatever. Not muted, but it was you just couldn't hear it. So a lot of people lost some money. Freaking Omaha, big forehead. That dude got the state of Omaha on the left side of his forehead. He got the state of California on his right. Dude got a big forehead.
State of Omaha, fucking not even the state of Nebraska. It's just Omaha.
Yeah, state of Omaha. Let's talk stupidly here. Like some we'll talk about some countries like Canada up there. No, just kidding.
Canada,
Canada.
brother.
That's about to be the 51st state, but we're not gonna talk about that one. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna get into politics and all that crap. That's not what we're here for. So we did our stats. What kind of scores we looking at? Let's say fourth.
Over under is 48.5.
The under's 48.5.
Over under set at 48.5.
Okay. So what are you thinking? You thinking still like kind of 30-ish? Any team scores 30? Or is it gonna be lower for you? I can see 30 with that defensive touchdown.
I'm gonna go like 24, 23, 20 Chiefs. Somewhat around there.
23-20 or 24-20?
Yeah.
You still thinking Chiefs? I say 30 to 24. I'm gonna go with that one. 30 to 24 Chiefs. I feel like that defensive touchdown looms large.
Chief.
I feel like they missed a PAT somewhere in there, Mr. Butt Kicker.
Have you ever seen that clip where Jamal Charles is making the draft pick for the Chiefs?
Nah, I didn't see that one. You can pull it up.
Might be worth, dude, because he is announcing like the third, fourth round pick last year. Or no, it was a second round pick last year. Kingsley Sulamatu. He's a offensive lineman for them. I don't know how to say his last name. Sorry if I butchered that, Kingsley, but
I'll see it. I think I got it right here. Wait, I gotta wait for a freaking ad. My bad, y'all. Just hang on like 2 seconds. Gotta see what this is about. I hate YouTube. YouTube monetize this right now before I get pissed. Yeah, gotta get...
to the Chief. He's just funny.
You fired up to pick up where you and Joe left off?
Yes, sir. Let's make it. Let's do it.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I'm fired up. Like I told you, you've done a lot to put yourself in this position. We're fired up here, so ready to get to work.
Jamar
Yes, sir.
Chase,
Let's do it.
draft ball. Oh wait, no, this was
All right,
that was
Oh, no.
for Jamar Chase. That's wrong. What the hell?
Yeah,
All right,
the
so
Jamar Chase and not Jamal Charles.
Jamal Charles. What the hell? YouTube.
I said Chief.
All right.
Fish second pick in the draft, Kansas City Chief.
Oh wait a minute, that was where you were sounding kind of illiterate, right?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. 2024 Chiefs pick.
Happy to be here. I'm happy to be here with a back-to-back Kansas City Chief. It's a trade. The San Francisco 49ers have traded a 63 pick to Kansas City Chief.
Kansas
With the
City
63
Chiefs.
pick in the 24
San Francisco 49ers.
Kansas City select Kingsley Sulamatu from BYU. Tackle. Let's go, Chief.
Let's go, Chief. Oh boy, that man. I'll tell you.
Let's go, Chief.
Chiefs.
He didn't even put the S in there. It's singular Chief, dude.
Dude, just one Chief. 1,200 likes on the live. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Even if it's just from Tia, appreciate all the help, man.
Preach.
All right. So I said 30 to 24 Chiefs. You said 24, 20, 23, 20.
I'll go 24. Why
24,
not?
20. All right. So over 4 point. So okay. So I'm saying 30 to 24. That's over the 48.5, and yours is just
Under.
Yeah. All right. Kind of like how we did that last week. Kind of a little conflicting there. Any big interceptions? Any big fumbles? What do you? I mean, other than the Barkley fumble, I was saying, or you think it's gonna be a clean game, more or less?
I think it's going to be a clean game for the most part. KC hasn't turned it over since like week 9 or something crazy like that.
Yeah, and Jalen Hurts has been pretty good in the playoffs this year as far as not turning it over either. But I was looking at a couple stats as well. All right, so with those predictions in the books, let's see what happens. Who do you think gets a touchdown in the Super Bowl? You think Kelsey gets one, or you think he's held scoreless?
I'll go for the Chiefs. I'll go Kareem Hunt, Xavier Worthy, and DeAndre Hopkins. For the Eagles, I'll go Saquon and Jalen Hurts. Let's keep it simple.
I see AJ Brown. Saquon.
Okay.
AJ Brown, Saquon, and maybe Goddard. But
Okay.
Chiefs. Well, that's only 3 scores. That's about right. 3 scores in a field goal, 24. All right. And then Chiefs, Saquon fumble. That's 1. I say Xavier Worthy definitely gets 1, and I want to say Pacheco gets 1.
Really?
It's weird to say, yeah.
Okay.
But, and then missed PAT on one of them in a field goal. So freaking butt kicker missing kicks. Put your damn head back down, fool.
Hey yo. I don't know if I'll be taking that advice anytime soon, but
All right.
we move.
All right, so we got that out the way. Let's talk about we already talked about NBA trades, and you're harping on that a little bit. When you came in the Fortnite stream, we were talking about you brought up Myles Garrett. I was trying to talk sports in the Fortnite stream, so my bad if you took it any type of way. I was trying to keep it that way.
No, you're good.
So I want to deep dive a little bit more into those Myles Garrett talks. That man looks like some type of, it's weird. He looks kind of like a Spanish Mario, in my opinion. Like, I look at his mustache, and I'm just like, it's me, Mario. It's me, Myles Garrett. That man wrecking.
Stupid. Man, wrecking.
Myles Garrett. I want to say the Commanders. I feel like the Commanders take a flyer, but I feel like we don't go that aggressive. I mean, I know Peters and Josh Harris they were talking about being aggressive, but I feel like I feel like we don't go out and pull a Dan Snyder move and sign Myles Garrett. I don't know. I think we maybe look into like a Khalil Mack maybe. I was seeing that he was he. Know what you want to keep Khalil Mack and
He's coming back to the Chargers, man.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know. I mean, thinking about it now, we need corners. Who knows if Lattimore's going to actually, stick. Sainristil still needs to go back to the slot. I mean, he's been playing good on the outside, but I feel like the slot that's his home right there. We need to get freaking Toasty juiced. I think he's a free agent, but we're not bringing him back.
And man, Michael Davis, get him out.
Yeah, for real, Michael Davis, man. You've been the talk of so many freaking so many heartbreak moments. I mean, not losing games for us, but damn near freaking selling.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, if we draft well as far as the defensive backfield goes and we get some tackles, I feel like Brandon Coleman moves inside. I feel like he just doesn't have the tangibles for being a tackle. He's kind of like, not gonna say he's noodle-armed, but he's not quick off the ball like you kind of need to be as far as getting wide too. So I feel like he kind of moves inside. I feel like he takes Nick Allegretti's spot, and Sam Cosmi and Biotish are good there. Andrew Wiley, I feel like we just need 2 tackles really, and a running back. 2 tackles, a running back. I feel like maybe they re-sign Diami, just because. Why not? I mean, nothing crazy. Just a team-friendly deal, team and player-friendly deal. Nothing crazy. Jeremy Chin, I think he's on a couple-year deal. I don't think he's on a 1-year deal.
I think he has 1 more year left.
Yeah, but they're gonna want to look into him maybe. Like I said, Sainristil, I feel like they draft a corner. I mean, I'm not gonna say that corner is gonna start. He's probably gonna have to sit. But if we look at it, I mean, it could be potentially Noah Igbenogany. I know he's a free agent, but I feel like they'll probably end up re-signing him or signing somebody else for the slot spot. Sainristil and Lattimore, they'll probably go into the season next year with that in whatever rookies they draft, unless it's a really high pick and they're really confident on him and they show out in training camp. I feel like they do. Well, I feel like they just sit his depth until something falls through. Either Lattimore underproduces, Igbenogany, or if Noah gets burnt. And I don't know. I feel like Sainristil. A lot of people say a lot of players have sophomore slumps and stuff. Sainristil, I don't think will. I think Sainristil will be good. And I was looking at some numbers through the regular season. Everybody was talking about Quinyon Mitchell being really great, but I think Sainristil's numbers were better than his. more picks. I feel like it was less of a passer rating allowed. I gotta look that up again, but I think his stats were better, and they weren't talking about him. Samer still at all.
Yeah. No, and I think Sainer still is definitely underrated. I do think Mitchell just had like a better year, but I don't think it's marginal at all. I think it's a very thin line that you can walk, and added the fact that Mitchell's been outside all year and not in the slot, and Sainer still's played those two different corner slots, and the outside and the inside. I just think, the versatility also plays a factor into it. Again, can't say good enough things about him. So
Yeah, I enjoy him. Probably one of my favorite rookies outside of JD5. But all right, let's get to these nominations for the offensive, defensive, the year honors or whatever. Anything that stuck out to you other than damn, I forgot off the top of my head. Gotta run them down. What we got?
oh, good.
I know Josh Allen was MVP. All right.
Yep. Joe Burrow comeback player of the year kind of shocked me.
Yeah, because they really didn't. It's not like they made the playoffs or did anything crazy. I mean, it was close. If Denver would have lost that last game, they would have been in. But I don't know. I don't think he does. I'm not gonna say. I don't really know who would deserve it more than Burrow, but who do you think? Who would you pick?
I mean, they made the narrative for his comeback story the wrist injury, and again, like, that's a huge injury to come back from, especially when that injury hasn't occurred in the NFL before, and there were so many unknowns going into this year of how Joe Burrow would perform.
That man's nice.
But honestly, I mean, he had played a good amount of the year last year, and he played a good amount of good ball last year. And I feel like the award is more so for people bouncing back from previously bad performances or super duper injury riddle seasons. So I would have picked J.K. Dobbins and Sam Darnold over Burrow, in my opinion. But I'm not totally flustered with the pick. All the other picks.
Yeah, but didn't J.K. miss some time this year as well with injury?
For sure, yeah. But I mean, he had 1,000 yards cumulative and almost 1,000 solely on the ground. And I just think he had a really good comeback year in general. Like, he only missed like 2-3 games.
Yeah, I guess Sam Darnold. Yeah, he kind of got snubbed on that one because he came back and led the Vikings to a decent record. What was that, 14-3 or something like that, close to it?
Yeah.
Damn. Well,
do you have any like major like eye poppers besides Kevin O'Connell, Coach of the Year?
Kevin O'Connell, I don't think should have got it. To be real, I don't think he should have got it. I think Dan Quinn should have got it. I still think Dan Quinn should have got it. I mean, I'm not trying to show bias there, but come on, we went from 4-13 to 12-5, made the playoffs, went to the championship game. Yeah, we got stomped out, but everybody was talking about the Dan's, the Dan Bowl, really. Dan Campbell and Dan Quinn being front runners for that award, and neither of them got it, which was crazy. I didn't understand when they picked Kevin O'Connell. I still have to go over the rest of them. I don't even know the other awards. Like I said, it's been kind of like hit or miss. Like, I haven't really been getting those notifications like that. The only notifications I got were Jaden Daniels, and then I saw briefly about the Kevin O'Connell part. And then
Surtain winning Depoy.
And Surtain, yeah. But
I don't think there's much else besides that.
Saquon got his offensive rookie, right? Well, not offensive rookie, offensive player, right?
Yeah, which was much deserved in my opinion as well.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't get MVP, really. But at the same time,
the MVP is it's a QB award.
Yeah, and I was all that and the Eagles roster is so loaded. I mean, I'm not trying to devalue Saquon here. Saquon is a hell of a man, hell of a running back, but with literally, you saw Will Shipley freaking rip off a big run and run a touchdown against the Commanders. Yeah, our defense is porous, blah blah blah. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm just saying, you could probably plug and play most guys into that system and they will perform very well. I'm not saying Saquon. Like I said, I'm not demoting Saquon. Saquon's right where he needs to be. You know,
Yeah.
starting his career with a bad Giants team where their O-line was not doing him any favors. He's just finally in a situation where he looks really good. It's kind of like everybody was saying how Mariota came in and won us the game against Dallas, or when he came in and beat the hell out of the Panthers. Everybody's saying, "Oh, well, it's just a system. Jaden Daniels a system quarterback. Blah 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 blah. Anybody can win in that system. X, Y, and Z." It's kind of the same thing with Philadelphia's run game behind that nice offensive line they got right there. I feel like you can really put. I'm gonna put. You could put like freaking Devin Singletary behind that line, and he would probably do decent. Or I'd say Matt Jones. Matt Jones from an old Commanders team, or Redskins team back in the day. Mr. Fumble himself. Do you remember Matt Jones? Do you know who he is? Yeah,
I thought you was talking about Jacksonville Mac Jones.
No,
for a sec.
Matt Jones, dude that dreads.
Oh, Matt Jones.
Matt Jones, yeah, he was a big fumbler. He's a big bruiser, but he was a fumbler. He played in New England a couple years after, and then we just haven't seen him. Couldn't see him anymore. He was a 2016 guy, I believe. Played with Kirko and all that, but man, I saw some stupid fan base posts talking about they should bring Kirk Cousins back and put him behind freaking Jaden Daniels. I was like, you gotta be freaking kidding me! Y'all crazy. Y'all stupid if y'all think that's gonna happen.
I think Kirk's a Raider.
I could see it.
I think one of Kirk or Jameis go to the Raiders.
Yeah, you saw the interview on the media night about freaking Jameis interviewing with Bill Belichick, talking about I've been a big fan of yours and blah blah blah. I hope he. Where should I go being a free agent and all that stuff.
Oh, he's awesome. He's been doing it all week. He's part of the Fox crew, just interviewing people. He's like, Chris Jones. So you're going for your third Super Bowl in 3 years, man. I ain't ever been able to do that. But what all of us are wondering is, what's your favorite color? And then we start busting up laughing, dude.
You need stuff like that because it's all freaking button up and it's all button up ties and freaking getting fired for eating biscuits on TV and stuff like that. It's ridiculous crap, man. It's so tight wadded over there that Jameis brings a fresh set that everybody loves.
Yeah,
I enjoy it too. I mean, I could sit there and watch him interview people for hours and him speak a whole bunch of gibberish and nonsense, but love it, man. I can't hate on him. Damn. Well, anyways, we kind of got a little off track here. Myles Garrett. Who do you think he goes to? He could be a Patriot, really, if you think about it. I mean, he wants to win, but
I don't think he'd go to the Patriots.
They got a lot of. He get a good contract up there with their cap space and all that, and defensive minded head coach Vrabel might be good to work with. Drake May up and coming. Maybe there's some upside for him to go up there. I don't know, man. I feel like he could get lured that way if the money's right. I mean, I know he wants to win and stuff like that, but Cleveland's bottom of the barrel as it is. I mean, you guys are dealing with the Deshaun Watson fumble, and who even knows who your quarterback is going into next year. There's not really much to. There's nowhere to. You can't really get any worse than that unless you go to Las Vegas. But at the same time,
I think he goes to Buffalo.
You think so? Buffalo? Okay, yeah. You think they can entertain that contract that he would want, or you think he would actually be that guy to whereas he would take a team friendly deal just to start winning?
I wouldn't go that far. I'm not gonna make any assumptions either way. I would just say that if he really wants to win, if the Bills are serious about, making a difference in finally winning a conference championship or matchup against the Chiefs in the playoffs, you got to make this move.
Yeah, I believe that. I mean, somebody's got to stop freaking Patrick Mahomes in that Chiefs offense, and I feel like Garrett could definitely be that game wrecker, that Chris Jones type. I mean, I'm not going to compare the two because they're in their own different leagues, but I'm just going to say right now, having a guy like him on a team like that, they're definitely going to be Super Bowl favorites next year if they're not already.
Yeah.
So you say Bills, I say I say maybe the Patriots, but kind of hoping for Commanders. I mean, I hope as a fan, I hope the Commanders pick him up because you want to see a guy like that just wrecking hell. Especially we got Saquon Barkley, we got we don't know who the Giants are even going to be next year. You have Dak Prescott who can still kind of get on the edge. I mean, I don't know how much he's going to be running after his injury this year, but I feel like Washington would be a good spot for him to be on. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to say that we're going to make the Super Bowl next year. I'd love to see that. I'd like to see if we can pick off where we left off. We'll pick up where we left off, but I don't know. I think we're in a good spot. What other team has this much upside? If you had to pick any, the Ravens. I don't know, man. I think the Ravens. It's kind of just like the same thing every year. They fall flat. But yeah, I mean, a guy like Myles Garrett would really come in and wreck havoc on the rest of that freaking division for sure.
Yeah, and they really need an edge,
Yeah, but at the same time, if their offense keeps choking games away and freaking playing like complete trash and throwing interceptions and throwing games away and dropping passes, it doesn't matter who's on the other side of the ball. If you can't, I don't know, man. I think the Ravens might be a weird spot for them to go. I'm not saying they won't do it. Just
Fair.
It feels stale, if that makes sense. Just to say.
I get what you mean.
So any other places? I mean, if Garrett goes, Denzel Ward is most likely going. But then where the hell would I think we would sign Denzel Ward because we need a corner. I feel like we could definitely take a flyer on that, man.
Yeah, I don't think you guys are shipping out 2 firsts and a third for Garrett. I think
A little too
a couple
steep.
second, yeah, like a second and a third rounder for Denzel Ward sounds a lot better in my opinion.
Yeah, this organization, well, this ownership group and this front office doesn't know anything about the RG3 trade, but us as fans, I would not want to pull a trigger and send 2 first-round picks for a player. God forbid he gets injured. God forbid something happens. It's just going to be a big waste of time.
I mean, do I think Myles Garrett is worth that amount? Yes, I just don't think so for the Commanders. I think the Commanders should continue to just draft well, sign good free agents, and continue until it's their spot to go all in. I don't think they're in the position where they need to go all in yet.
Yeah, but a lot of people were also saying, I've been seeing a lot of speculation online talking about Myles Garrett really the first round picks that we would even be giving up are going to be late round picks, well, late first rounders. It's not going to be, a lot of people are saying it's not going to be anything crazy. Like, you're not giving up a top 5 pick for Myles Garrett. You're giving up a 29th pick and whatever we pick out next year, because a lot of people are assuming we're going to get the same spot again, or damn near close to it, to whereas we're picking in the end of the 20, well, the end of the 20s,
Mid late 20s, yeah.
So
no, I get you,
but I could see where they would want to take, like, I would see where Adam Peters and Josh Harris decide to say, hey, like, let's do it. 2 late first round picks, banking on our future, but at the same time, does the team do it? I'd say maybe like a 60% chance, maybe. 60% chance, maybe. I mean, I'm only saying, like, that 40%. Okay, let me fix that. I'd say 40%, yeah, maybe. And then 60% no, just for the fact that, maybe they would want to trade back and stockpile picks and get better players. Like, we have a lot of holes in our roster. Safety's kind of a concern. Our cornerback room, Bobby Wagner's not getting any younger. Our edges on our Dorrance Armstrong's a free agent, I believe. Cleveland Farrell's a free agent. They're not really getting it. Not gonna say they're not getting it done, but you definitely want somebody that's more of a disruptor on the outside, especially when Philly likes to run those outside runs a lot. A lot of teams like to run the outside zone against us, and they're very successful in doing it. You saw Tampa Bay do it. You saw Detroit do it with Jahmyr Gibbs, and you saw Philly do it with Saquon and Shipley ran inside, but you saw Saquon do it, bouncing to the outside. We're very terrible. We're a bad team when it comes to defending the outside run. So
yeah.
As far as that goes, there's not really much to say on the matter. I mean, as a Commanders fan, I hope that we can work something out. I hope it's nothing crazy, but if they don't do it, I'm not gonna be sad either. Do what you gotta do, yeah. Adam Peters, and Adam Peters we trust. But as far as any other trades, any other players, do you see any other players requesting trades? I know Tyreek Hill's going to stay in Miami now. He's not trying to leave. At least that's what I saw.
Yeah.
It's kind of just an ugly situation. That would be kind of like a locker room cancer, in my opinion, kind of like a Deshaun Jackson type, where it's all about me, or an OBJ type, where it's all about me and I want the ball and blah 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 blah, and I don't care about anybody else. Not trying to be a team player. We want team players, people to buy into a brotherhood. You don't want locker room cancer to think it's all about them. I think Tyreek Hill would probably be one of those type of people, especially with all the kids he's having. So, I just want to look at it and see if there's any more extra news, and if not, then that's all I got, really. It's been an
Yeah.
hour.
Yeah. Knock 'em dead.
Oh, yeah. Not really
Yeah.
seeing anything too crazy.
No, the only other piece of news, and again, this is kind of a recurring theme, because it's just getting closer and closer for Kellen Moore to become the Saints head coach after the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah. So that's like more or less, not saying confirmed, but it's not. It's one of those things that's really getting some steam. Travis Kelce is undecided if he's going to return next year. I guess depending on what happens with the Super Bowl here, if he wins, well, if he gets that ring, I feel like he hangs it up. I feel like he calls it quits. Really, I mean, there's nothing much about it. He is losing
And
his
out on the
step.
top.
He is losing his step, and then he'd be doing us all a favor, so we don't have to see Taylor Swift at games anymore. But maybe I heard apparently a rumor that she's pregnant, but it's a rumor.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah. Dick Joran dies at 74. Bills head coach, former Bills head coach. Rest in peace, my
Rip.
dude. Yeah. Pat Surtain said it was instant gratification of winning the DPOY. That's pretty much it. Brian Schottenheimer's promotion, part of moves for Cowboys to compete right now. Jerry Jones, what the fudge is wrong with you, my bro? Come on, man. Talking about
He's just confused.
that man is freaking senile. Talking about they're gonna compete right now, man. Get out of here. All right then. Guess we'll leave y'all with the Cowboys news. Cowboys fans, your owner is just as delusional as you are. Leave it at that.
Jeez.
All right. You got anything else for him, Peyton?
Nope. It's been a great stream. It's been a great time with y'all. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for all the likes and all the engagement and stuff. And we'll be here Tuesday, right? I guess. I mean, we'll be here for a little bit of basketball, and maybe we'll do a little bit of a Super Bowl breakdown, either that or Saturday. We'll either be back here Tuesday or Saturday. We'll leave the discussions open. We'll see how the rest of the weekend goes and into the next week. But for now, if anything, just expect us to be back here Saturday with the breakdown. And then I guess start of off-season talks for everybody, and whoever hoists the Lombardi.
Good
by all
to
means. Yeah. All right. And with that being said, you guys enjoy it. Have a good one, and enjoy your last weekend of football.
Peace.